Give me 20 minutes of your time and I guarantee you'll leave this episode having learned something new about either content or how to edit. I'm Ryan, agency owner, editor, and content creator, which means that I deal with content every single day. And as a means to keep me edited and learning and making improvements on every piece of content I create, I started this show. This week, we of course have 3 fantastic edits coming up. I've added a new segment in which I break down 5 hooks to give you inspiration on some potential new sick hooks that I saw that you might want to use in your content. And of course we have the strategic showdown. With that being said, let's dive into today's episode. Strategic showdown. This is my strategic tip of the week that I've also been giving to a lot of my clients. You should try and then decrease the space between polished content and unpolished content. What do I mean by that? I see a lot of people that are making content whereby the opening hook looks like it's filmed on Snapchat, and then they go into something which is super highly polished. And the thinking behind this is that people feel like it's more native to them. You know, it feels like it's filmed by an actual person, and in the world of AI and being spammed by ads, who doesn't want that? And that right away leads us into our next segment, because it's actually one of the hooks that I've added to this week's Hooks of the Week. And so what did I think with this segment? You see, the most difficult thing about editing or creating videos is getting your hook right, because the reality is if your hook isn't right, the rest of your content is not going to be watched. So in the following segment, you're going to see 5 hooks that I absolutely love and you hopefully use as inspiration for your next video. So we start with hook 1, embodying unpolished with polished.
Hell no, man.
Given the nature of this segment of the show, I'm not going to go into the actual edit of this, but as you see here, he uses something that looks like it's filmed on Snapchat, very raw, very authentic, and proceeds to follow it up with something that is extremely polished, high color grading, high level of filming, high quality camera. Hook 2, I'm going to call fusing 2 drone shots. Now this is just a video for this one. It's just a loop of these 2 drone shots mixed over into one another, which makes it feel extremely weird. But because it's extremely weird, it catches your attention. If you have access to a drone, which I understand not everyone does, you could film 2 different shots and try and match the skylines so that they fuse into each other, and that way you could capture attention in a different way and maybe follow up right away with some interesting storytelling. Hook 3.
This is day 17 of filming my life cinematically.
I thought this was a fantastic way to, you know, nothing that required crazy editing, but just some sort of tilt shot. You could even position your camera so that it's fixed, shot out your camera, and have the leaves or something you use inside say something already, right? So we process words way quicker than that we process visual things that are going on. So automatically you read this way, and that allows you to be hooked quicker. Hook 4, the simple use of adding a mouse. Somehow, just by animating the mouse to come into screen on the hook, it caught my attention. Hook 5, and the last hook of this week. The thinking for me is film something in a different format to the rest of your content. So in this case, obviously it's really thin and narrow. Maybe you can open your shot that way by having you full screen, but the background behind you super thin and narrow, and it just opens up. That was Hooks of the Week. If you enjoyed this segment, let me know in the comments down below and I'll add it in more often. And with that being said, let's dive into the next part, the actual videos. Vid 1.
Creators won't tell you this, but content is a game of speed, and without this system, you won't survive. I struggled staying consistent for a year. Writer's block, poor scheduling, and overthinking. Every new idea led to a spiral of what else could go wrong. And then, I chose action over comfort, again and again, until something hit. Without speed, none of this would have been possible, because speed beats perfection, and reps make something great. If you want to speed up your production, comment speed to get my content planner template.
Fucking crazy. The shots he made here.
Creators won't tell you this.
This is nuts. Also, the sound effects on this is super sick.
Creators won't tell you this.
These are 4 different shots. They are with the hand tool on crop, just drawn out like this. And they appear, this is also by inverting the channel. If you select this effect in Premiere called invert, just throw this on top, it will invert all of the colors. So imagine here the opacity is to 0. so that you like see what's behind it, and the feather is what's automated. So the feather was this on the original shot, and then just decrease the feather and then switch the opacity to 100 on a color matte and then show the actual clip. Sick effect. I know that's an effect in Premiere that you can throw on top, and when you pair that with the sound effects like zing, it's super cool. Also, this is fucking sick. This looks crazy. This is the original shot, or maybe these are two shots that fuse over into each other, both on a similar background. Oh, it looks so fucking slick, dude. There's a feather here that you see, that's why it like softens over into one another. Here he's got speed, like search from a dictionary screenshot. There is a slight screen on it, or the opacity is thrown down to like 8%. Here's a camera stuck in 3D. It's also so sick. So this is relatively easy to do. The camera 3D thing here, so how it's spinning like this, and it looks like it's just in motion. You hang your camera from a string from the roof. Behind it you have a green screen. You film the camera and then turn it, and then just let it kind of turn. Then because you filmed it on a green screen, you take the Ultra key, you remove the green from behind the camera, and then crop it so that the string it's attached to is like barely visible, and that way you'll get this 3D effect. It looks fucking slick.
And without this system, you won't survive.
Oh, this is also crazy. I actually saw a tutorial of how this guy did this. So here he's lying on two boxes. Again, made the front of the boxes green, and he's like, so here underneath him he has the two boxes, the background of which he's filming on is also green, and then he's just in essence ultra keyed himself out. And then you need a sick ass font, like crazy font,
I struggle to stay consistent.
and you have to match the motion. Super creative and well done.
You won't survive. I struggle to stay consistent for a year.
The way the camera movement is matched to how the text appears, so it ultimately feels 3D, and then the person behind him is blurred so that you get the same camera effect as if I were to say, now I'm in focus, and now my hand is in focus, and therefore I blur behind it. It's important because that's the tiny detail that sells the 3D effect on the text here.
Writer's block, course.
So this is fucking sick. You get this shot by overpowering the camera with a lot of light behind you. So right now the light's on me. If the light were to come from behind me, then the camera's is only going to pick up the shadow because it's basically exposed behind me. I'd imagine there's probably quite a lot of bleed coming normally from the light, but so what I think he's done, he's probably rotoscoped himself out so that it's only a thin line that appears around him. And I think on the original shot, the light is way more visible. Then he has the additional shot very cleverly placed into his head, so it looks like he's in his head. A fantastic means of creative storytelling.
Every new idea led to
Also, the ability of using flashes and different blend modes as a means to make transitions are so fucking good.
every new idea led to a spiral.
Switching here from a black background to a white background. These are probably done in After Effects, but I imagine you can do the same in Premiere. And that is just get each layer of this, whatever you call this, I suppose collages or images or whatever you want to call them, keyframe them on the scale to all come in at slightly later points from big to small. When I use the transform tool, add shutter angle of like 80 to 100. This is going to add this slight blur when you see them moving. Here you'll see that this one is kind of blurred. That's what the shutter angle effect does. Once they're on, nest the layer, track the layer to his head.
What else can go wrong? And then I chose action over comfort again and again until...
Looks difficult, but it's pretty easy to do. As with anything, to do it well is of course a skill of its own, but in essence, the thing that sells it here is the speed ramp. And because you speed ramp things, you can hide a lot of details. You naturally have to make sure that your camera has the same motion every time. I'd imagine, given the stability of how this moves, they have it on some sort of arm because it moves the same almost every time. Tripod and some sort of arm that allows for the rotation. When we go from this to this, not only because it matches the motion does it work, if you were to all of a sudden film the other way, it's going to be really jarring to watch, but also by adding a speed ramp, you're going to make sure that you hide any potential mistakes. And speed ramps are really easy to do. I'll add a tutorial in the description from a guy who explained it way easier than I ever can, given the time frame that I have.
Again and again until something hits.
Then finally, the sick effect that I saw here is something like this. So creating this button, I know for a fact you can actually get this in Canva, and you just add it on an own green screen layer in Canva, and then you put it in here, you add a screen effect. Make sure to texturize it, so that's what really works well here. And then add a slight glow to it, which you can do through means of shadow or feather, something like that. And then it's just clever placement and sound effects.
Without speed, none of this would have been possible, because speed beats perfect. None of this.
So this is fucking sick shot. I think this is probably really simple. He's just done it really well. All you do is you film yourself walking from back to front. You then speed those up, obviously, so that it goes really fast. Make sure that you only have the alpha layer on so that you get this like white glowing effect. And this was the original shot. So he's also probably desaturated it. I can feel that I'm low on energy today. My apologies. I am doing my best to try and explain this anyway. I need to show up every week because that's the commitment I made to myself. So, continuing with video 2. Fucking sick. If you don't have a gimbal, this video is going to be almost impossible for you to replicate. Let me say that right away. Because especially like this first shot alone, you need a gimbal for. And in essence, you're just turning on the rotate function on the gimbal, and as it turns, you walk towards, in this case, the NB sign here, right? Originally, you'll walk slowly. In post, what you do is through means of speed ramping, something we spoke about in the previous video, you, in essence, help the transition along way faster. It's just about good keyframing in order to get the results like this. This, however, is fucking so well thought out. Like, this is crazy. You want to get the motion right on the shot that you film, and then it's easy to sell. But to think of it in advance, that's the difficult thing. Fucking genius. Then all these things are just creative match cuts, right? So when you're filming the shots and you're setting up, this is where you already have to think about, how do I want this to look? What does the transition want to look like? Because otherwise you're going to have a problem later. A lot of people, a lot of strategic things that creators do is they storyboard things in advance, think all of this stuff out in advance so that they know what shots to get. A lot of time they'll have references and stuff, and then you have to match it to the next clip as people run by. These are things, some might be luck and some you might be able to match just because of the way you've shot. If you're, especially like that first one, if you're trying to do something like this, you have to think about it in advance, otherwise you're never going to get the shot good enough to make the transition. I do think a lot of this you can now also do through means of AI tools like Higgs fields, which definitely helps. Okay, let's see what else. The short effect here. The rest of this video is just a compilation of really smart speed ramps. So like here, the speed ramp would look like fast at the beginning, which is as a means to sell the transition from the previous clip, slow down here, like really slow, and then sped up again here to go back into aiding the transition. Now again, I've spoken about this before, but think about movement when you're shooting your videos, right? So this one, the movement comes from the camera movement is moving this way, and so that the logo moves that way as well is smart, because had it moved the other way, it would have felt jarring. So another example is this, your eye is looking this way, and so boom, you match that with the movement of the next shot to continue moving that way until here. And I want to change it up again so that it doesn't get repetitive. So now they, for goodness sake. So now what they've done is move this way and have the next shot match in accordingly. Important to think about that. And then those are just the same as the intro hook, which I explained, more speed ramps shot on a gimbal and rotating. Fucking well done. And also color grade on this slaps. This is fucking sick. Orange and teal color grade. Fucking hell. And the final video of today, video 3. Let's go.
Wait, you're where? So, what have you been up to?
First of all, sick fucking song. Fred again, if you happen to be watching this, I fucking love your music, dude. What I loved about this one in particular is the storyline, or the idea behind it, or the hook in this case.
Wait.
So starting with like these hand shots, these close-up shots, actually fills into the earlier segment about creative hooks. Finding something that is slightly different. I saw another guy do it with a foot. I saw another guy do it with just his mustache, which was very intimate, but it works, right? So adding in the creative hooks that focus on just the hands.
Where?
Now this, I love the like black, white, red combination. It just looks so fucking sick. And then also adding in the bus to be red. It's pretty simple. You need a shot of London, right? And then you need to throw this into a tool like Runway or After Effects, whatever your preference. And then you're going to like key point the segments which you want to like hide the word behind. So in this case, you know, the house here, the tower here, this entire building here, obviously the bus, and even, it doesn't really bleed through, but definitely the bus, maybe just the top of the bridge. All of these things you need to keyframe out. You're gonna put it on the green screen if you're using Runway, which is my choice, so that's what I'm gonna continue on. Then you're gonna drag it back in, you're gonna take an Ultra key and take out the green, and then you're going to create, in essence, a new layer that sits on top, which ultimately allows you to hide the word behind. This is also sick, man. How you can do this, I've done this a few times myself. Given the spacing, is probably just simple cropping. So having a blank background and then just cropping each character onto the background. That being said, there is a way that you can, in essence, make them pop into picture. This is just done with a slight flash, so probably on a keyframe on contrast, and just increase that and decrease it real quick. Another way that you can do this is on the opacity. You have an expansion setting. If you take the expansion and decrease it as much as possible, and then keyframe about 3, 4, maybe 5 keyframes forward, and you increase the expansion to max, you're going to create this effect as if you're popping into screen. And so my editor is going to do it for you. I'm going to give him a blank background. And if I then go like this, by using the expansion that I just explained, I in essence just popped into screen. That's how you can do it. Thank me later. Here we again see something I spoke about last week. These are called wipes. When you have a motion that goes from left to right really quickly, up to down, the way doesn't really matter. The idea is always the same. Because you have the wipe that goes quickly and it matches the same more or less color tone from the segment before, and it goes into a new segment, it acts as a transition to help you through the video. But maybe the most important of this segment is actually the very closing, which is open for bookings. This is something I don't see in content enough. People make amazing content and you can tell they spend hours curating and editing it, but they don't make a single sale. And this is often the problem with creators. Some who have thousands to a million followers and they don't know how to earn any money from it. I'd rather do it in such a way that I make fantastic content and promote myself. Sometimes you just have to outright come and say, I'm open for bookings. And with that being said, that was already another episode of Ryan Reacts. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, subscribe, or comment. That would be fantastic. If you have any feedback or things that you'd like to learn about content, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm constantly trying to improve this show. I'll be around for the next year at least, posting weekly stuff like this. So I will see you in the next one.